So what exactly went wrong for Harvey and what next for Jersey Rugby Club? Our sports correspondent Rob Jones reports.
We win together and lose together, and the first thing we'll look at is the coaching staff and make sure we do things correctly during the week and try and tweak a few things and make sure that we get the best out of the group, because they're a very good bunch of lads we've got here. We still believe in them.
Jersey's head coach Ben Harvey believed in his players, but had he lost faith in himself? A 28-18 defeat to the Championship's bottom club Ealing had seen the Reds lurch back into another fight for survival, and after a couple of days of reflection, Harvey decided he wasn't up for that fight. In a statement, he said he'd decided that in order to progress his career, he needed to part company with the club and was doing so with immediate effect. So, a surprise or not?
I'm a bit shocked actually, after just, it was a poor result at the weekend, but I think Jersey have played exceptionally well.
I think it was on the cards for a long time, and I think the Ealing match on Saturday was just the nail in the coffin, really.
Well, I know he's been under a lot of pressure, and it's all about results at the end of the day, so I guess there's been some disgruntled fans.
Disgruntled now, but not for much of the last 5 years. Harvey presided over an unprecedented spell of success at St Peter. Chairman Bill Dempsey says his hard work, effort and enthusiasm has been instrumental in Jersey's rise up the leagues, and the club's former captain says that is what he should be remembered for.
No one can deny Ben's done an absolutely amazing job, given, you know, the island the way it is, the amount of players that are on the island and what he's done. You know, to go up 4 leagues anywhere in the world is quite an achievement.
But when Harvey needed his players most, did they desert him? One former player told ITV News today he lost the dressing room 18 months ago. Had his position become untenable?
I can't really comment on that because I've not been in the dressing room, and I've honestly not been to many games this year due to family commitments.
But in any rugby club, does that make it untenable if you've lost the dressing room?
Well, you know, you're going to get players who are unhappy in any rugby club, especially at this level, at Championship level, when you've got such big squads, you know, 30 players and so on, and management and physios and backroom staff and all that. You're going to upset some people.
Harvey's trusted right-hand man Steve Bowden will take charge of Saturday's British and Irish Cup match against Cornish Pirates. The most recent of history aside, his former boss is a hard act to follow.
And Rob is here now, so not a good day for the club. Is this something you could see coming?
That's a good question, Mark, because I speak to Ben at his weekly press conference and he certainly wasn't a man who was shy to not discuss Jersey's long-term future. But having said that, it was only 3 days ago that we sat here and we discussed their body language in that second half against Ealing. The shoulders were slumped and they looked like a team that was almost waiting to lose that game. It's very easy to sit here in hindsight and say, is that the body language of a team that knew that their head coach didn't have much longer left in the job?
We hear there that one ex-player says that Harvey had lost the dressing room, and he's perhaps not the only one.
No, before I read you a text message I got earlier from one of Jersey's former players, it is important to pick up on what Kern Yates said in my report there, that in professional sport it's very difficult to keep a squad of 30 players happy all the time. Having said that, the text message did make some pretty unimpressive reading for Ben Harvey. It read as follows: it was apparent early that his man management was very poor, but the players kept on winning. Since promotion to the Championship, he hasn't changed his style and therefore hasn't won the hearts and the minds of the players. And perhaps that's summed up by most of the players who I tried to speak to at the club's ground today were pretty quick to say no comment. But I asked one, are you surprised to see him go? He kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, not really.
So where did Jersey go from here then?
Well, I think the good news for Jersey is that they have got 2 weeks now where they're playing in the British and Irish Cup, which, in all honesty, is not their main priority. Their main priority now, of course, is staying in the Championship, and they've got a massive game against Moseley to come in 3 weeks' time. But it gives Bill Dempsey and the rest of the board a little bit of time to think about what they're going to do ahead of that game. Do they see how Steve Bowden goes in this B&I doubleheader against the Cornish Pirates, or maybe do they see it as a good opportunity to just freshen things up because their league position, whilst it isn't great, isn't unrecoverable?